How's it going, everybody? It is Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Ben over here in the UBERS tier, the best tier on Pokemon Showdown, made by Smogon University. Such a beautiful tier. Basically the OU ban list. But anyways, beside that, this team I'm using is actually a UBERS BL team. I think I got it from NJ&P a while back, but it's a really cool team. I just had a few games with it laying around, and then I got a few games maybe this past week with this team, and it's actually pretty nice. I don't know, I just wanted to try it out because it looked fun with Mega Metagross and Shaymin-Sky. You don't see those guys like ever. So anyways, he unfortunately misses his first Hydro Pump, but hits the second one, hits that nice critical hits as I get my Sticky Webs and my Stealth Rocks. Luckily Shuckle does have the ability Sturdy, so I can take any kind of critical hit at least once, but if he hit that first one and then he hit the second one, he can stop me from getting my Stealth Rocks up. I can only get my Sticky Webs up, so that's pretty unfortunate. Now if he has any Focus Sash in the back or anything like that, I mean, I could just break it. So I go into Groudon over here, get the Drought up. I was kind of hoping that maybe Groudon would potentially go down, honestly. I don't want to hard switch into my Shaymin because I want Shaymin to just growth up in the sun and then just like click Air Slash and potentially maybe KO some Mons with Seed Flare as well. That was the plan at least, but I mean, might as well try and set up a Groudon and go from there as well. Unfortunately, he misses 2 Hydro Pumps, which is just huge because I think maybe that would two-shot me. I mean, it's a Palkia and I'm not running any HP on this Groudon. Granted, it is in the sun, it's weakened, but I mean, it's a Palkia. I'm guessing maybe he's a Soul Vest because he has Aura Sphere or something like that. Maybe Fire Blast and maybe Spatial Rend as his last move, I would guess. But that's pretty unfortunate. I was kind of scared of Dragonime Z Palkia as well, not gonna lie, but maybe, like I said, he was just a Soul Vest. But yeah, I Swords Danced up and Rock Polished up. Now I'm +2 and everything, Dual Danced, ready to go, and hopefully I don't miss my moves like he did. He missed 3 Hydro Pumps already, so maybe I'm due for a miss here. So luckily I didn't miss the first Blades that I go for on Palkia, knock it out in one shot, and then in comes Primal Groudon, and I just one-shot that thing as well. Now you're thinking, why use regular Groudon instead of Primal Groudon? What are you doing? Primal Groudon's like always 10 times million better than regular Groudon. Well, it's because I want Drought at least, so I can growth up with Shaymin, pretty much, because when you switch out Primal Groudon, the Desolate Land goes away. And also Groudon at least is not having a ground weakness like Primal Groudon does, though Groudon doesn't appreciate taking any kind of ground move. I mean, at least from the Primal Groudon at least, but at least I can 1-hit KO that Groudon. He can't 1-hit KO me with pretty much anything unless he's like Eruption maybe, or Overheat, but Eruption he has to be at max HP, and Overheat, I don't know if he even lives a hit from me at least. So I'm doing pretty well. I do have Fire Punch on this. Maybe I would rather run Stone Edge because Fire Punch is I don't really like to run Fire Punch on a Dual Dance Groudon. I'd rather run Stone Edge, but I can see why Fire Punch is good. You don't miss, and it's boosted by Drought, so it's nice. But Stone Edge I feel like is a little bit better in my opinion. So, and also hits Salamence, because Salamence can be a problem for this Groudon. So yeah, I'm just plowing through his team. We're +2. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm Adamant, max attack, max speed, and yeah, it's just going well. Hopefully I don't miss anything. I mean, unless he's Dragonime Z Zygarde, he can't one-shot me with like maybe Z Outrage. Even then, I don't know if I can get one-shotted if it's Adamant. But yeah, everything's just going down. In comes the Xerneas, his last Pokemon, and I just need to hit a Blades and hopefully knock out the Xerneas. Unless it's Z Geomancy. And it gets a +1. Actually, it'll probably still go down to a Blades if it does get +1 defense. Unless it's like max HP, max defense, Bold Nature. That could be bad, especially if it's Rest. And it is Z move, which is funny enough. And Z Geomancy, like I said. I thought it would be Power Herb. So that kind of scared me, not gonna lie, because I did miss my Blades right there. So maybe he can bounce back. But even though he has to wait a turn to attack me, he did get the Sticky Webs, and I'm +2 speed, so I think I still outspeed him either way. But even though he does, I think, get +3 speed, but then after the Geomancy and the Sticky Webs, he's only at +2 speed, and I'm running max speed, so he'd have to be having a really fast Xerneas, and usually Xerneases are not. And anyways, he just like got one-shotted either way, so it didn't even matter. So yeah, unfortunately, I got a little bit lucky there with the Hydro Pumps, but yeah, it could have been a lot closer game. So this is why Groudon is the best. Nah, I won't title it that. Maybe for another day. I remember Ben also always wanted me to upload this battle too, but I never did. It's like a really old battle, like more than maybe 5 months ago. But these 3 battles that I got up next are like probably the past week or 2. So over here we got Hikari, aka Bella. Got a scary team of Gothitelle. I think she always wanted to use Gothitelle against me because Gothitelle is a trapping monster. Too bad I got Calm Mind Arceus, so it's not really going to trap much since I have a very hyper offensive team. But we'll see what she got. She got a scary team, maybe Primal Groudon, Z, Marshadow. We'll see, we'll see. Yveltal could be Scarf, maybe Defog, I don't know, Ultra Necrozma, I don't know. But anyways, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to lead off with my Shuckle. Could be a Taunty Yveltal, though it does not matter because I do have Mental Herb on my Shuckle, and Shuckle will be able to just like get anything up really. I mean, I can get a Web up, I can get Stealth Rock up, but it could be like Taunt with Defog, which could be annoying because then they could Taunt, then Taunt again, then Defog. And unfortunately, that is not the case because you just have U-Turn and you're probably just Choice Scarf. Maybe Choice Specs, I don't know. We'll see. So I get the webs up, goes into Gothitelle, which is a little scary because Gothitelle can potentially just beat down my Shuckle. Even though I do have Toxic, hopefully the Gothitelle does not have Rest. Then I could potentially beat it down. But actually switches out into Arceus over here as I get my rocks up. So I was like, oh, okay then, maybe it's a Defog Arceus Ground? Which it is. Turns out to be Defog Arceus Ground, so I'm thinking, okay, Defog, Cover, what's the last 2 moves? Maybe Judgment, Ice Beam, I'm guessing. I don't think it's going to be Swords Dance, because they usually don't carry Defog. Maybe Toxic Ice Beam, but usually they carry Judgment, because Judgment is a nice stab move on Arceus Ground. Honestly, Arceus Ground is one of my favorite Arceuses to use. It's just so dang good. I love the ground type. So, anyways, I land a Toxic on him, which is really nice. Now I just get my webs back up, because there's really no point in me switching out. Throws off the Ice Beam, which is kind of expected in Arceus Ground. Hits Salamances, Zygardes, and all around every kind of Pokemon, and can potentially freeze. Nice 10% chance. So, goes for another Defog as I go for Encore, just so that the Arceus Ground can't recover or anything like that, and I can keep it nice and low, as it's locked into Defog as well. So I can pretty much just keep getting my hatches up, and Arceus will go down eventually. Like, it can't really knock out Shuckle, I think, before it gets knocked out by Toxic. So Hikari decides to switch into Primal Groudon. She's probably getting tired of this Shuckle. She's like, alright, I'm just going to knock this thing out of the park. Get this Shuckle out of my face. You don't fudgel with the Shuckle, because this thing lives everything. So, Desolate Land, it's powerful. It's probably going to go for a Fire move maybe, but I just get my webs back up, so at least it gets something. Just throw it on that Primal Groudon and everywhere on the field. So now Arceus Ground is slower if I want to switch in on some of my mons. So it goes for the Stone Edge right there. Super effective. Nice, nice, nice. Can Shuckle live it? Shuckle does live it because Shuckle a Boki monster. And then I get my Stealth Rocks up. So still, no matter what, I got all my hazards up. Could go back in Arceus Ground and try and go for a Defog, but then I'll probably just Encore, and she'd be locked into Defog, and she'd get a lot of toxic damage off on the Arceus Ground. And potentially I could still get a hazards up because she's locked in Defog. I can just like keep sticky webbing, and I'm slower than Arceus Ground, so she'd go down to Toxic. I'm pretty sure, yeah. And I get a web up or a Stealth Rock up, but I think I want to get webs up versus her. So yeah, anyways, down goes Shuckle. And now I bring in my Groudon over here, and I was kind of scared of Arceus Ground coming in and potentially going for a Defog, because if I Swords Dance up, I think I'd be slower. I don't know. I was just really, really scared of that Pokemon coming out, and also Yveltal as well, coming in on like a Blades as I go for a Swords Dance. Maybe it catches me with a Dark Pulse and just like does so much damage. So I just really wanted to pull a double because I don't think the Primal Groudon would stay in, and I really want to try and get a nasty plot off with Darkrai as well. Like, I could have maybe Swords Danced up right there or Rock Polished, but I already got Groudon like sweeping that one team with versus Ben, so I was like, alright, let's get Darkrai doing something. So goes for the U-turn with Yveltal. Turns out to be Choice Scarf, which I expected, and does decent damage, but now I decided to just go for a nasty plot as the Yveltal went for a U-turn. And Arceus Ground comes in, and I could go for the Darkinium Z on this, but I was calculating. I was like, alright, this thing should go down to a Dark Pulse at +2, and it does, thankfully. Since Arceus Ground don't run specially defensive type, or, you know, kind of variants. Usually just max HP, enough speed to outspeed Mega Lucario, I would say, usually. Maybe enough speed to outspeed Mega Salamance's Adamant as well, if they want to run that, and I'll just, like, max defense, as much defense as they can put, really. So, in comes Yveltal, my Darkrai. I don't want to lose my Darkrai to the U-turn. Now I'm going to go into my Groudon because I expect a U-turn or maybe a Oblivion Wing if she thinks I can knock my Darkrai out, which maybe it would. Darkrai has decent defenses, but not the best HP. So, Groudon is in. and just goes into Gothitelle over here. So Gothitelle could be a little bit annoying if it is Trick. I've ran into Trick Gothitelle before, and then I'm locked into something. But I was willing to just see what kind of Gothitelle it is, really. I mean, it can't do much to me. I can just Swords Dance up and kind of break through it, unless it's Charm. But honestly, if it's Charm, I'll just Swords Dance all the way up, because I think Charm and Swords Dance both have the same amount of PP, I'm pretty sure. So literally, it'd just be canceling each other out, and we would just sit here for, you know, I think 24 turns, how much Swords Dance has and Charm has. I feel like Charm has more PP though, like 32 or something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's like 24. So I guess she realizes that she doesn't want to sit around and, you know, twiddle our thumbs and do nothing. So I'm gonna get Swords Dance up no matter what. As she goes in the Yveltal, and the Yveltal Choice Scarf should be able to outspeed me, but it shouldn't be able to knock me out. And I can easily just go for a Fire Punch to knock it out, or if I want to go for a Rock Polish, I can do that and potentially outspeed it. Maybe Yveltal Choice Scarf could outspeed Groudon with +2, but I doubt it since I'm running max speed Groudon on it. So Oblivion Wing does do a decent amount right there, gets some nice HP as well. I do go for the Rock Polish. I know I'm pretty sure I could outspeed it. Hopefully it's not like Sucker Punch as well, as she switches out or something like that and does some decent damage, but she does sack the Yveltal over here to my Fire Punch, and down it goes. So she's kind of in a pickle right now. All of her Pokemon don't appreciate Groudon's hits. She could go into Maw Shadow and go for a Shadow Sneak. That could do a decent amount. Maybe it's banded. Even though I could potentially go for a Fire Punch, but I think after Drought is gone and I'm only +2 Adamant, I think Marshadow has a chance to live Fire Punch. And I think it was a better shot at knocking it out with Blades. Even though 8 Blades is only 85% accuracy, I decided to go for it because I think Fire Punch had a lower chance of knocking it out than 85%. Even though it's 100% accuracy. So it turns out to be Life Orb, I think, and that did a decent amount, so maybe I should just went for the Fire Punch, but oh well. I risked it for the Biscuit to hit the Blades, and it's way more my favorite to hit Blades, so I'm just always scared of missing it. And there you go, I missed the Blades right there on the Gothitelle, so that's pretty unfortunate. Down goes Groudon to the Side Shock. But now I can potentially bring in my Darkrai if I want to and just like annihilate her team. So that's exactly what I do. Bring in Darkrai over here. I don't think she has much to hit me with at all, because usually Gothitelles only carry Psychic moves, and I could easily just throw off a Nasty Plot over here as she brings in the Necrozma. So Necrozma could be a little bit annoying, but luckily I still have my Darkinium Z intact, and this is why I love Darkinium Z. You can just one-shot a lot of these bulky Prism Armor Pokemon, and it is turning out to be a bulky Necrozma, I was thinking, with leftovers, so that's good to know. If it was Ultra Necrozma though, that'd be a little bit better for me because, you know, it's slower than me with Sticky Webs, and it should be able to get one-shotted by Dark Pulse, but I gotta waste my Darkinium Z on this Necrozma. But honestly, it didn't really matter because I don't really need it for anything else. Sometimes I like to run Electrium Z Thunder Darkrai as well. It hits Kyogre and just neutral damage on a lot of other Pokemon like Xerneas. Because sometimes you might need that extra oomph and power. Because sometimes Sludge Bomb just isn't enough when you can't get a Nasty Plot off, something like that. I've been in scenarios with that before. So down goes Necrozma, in comes Groudon. This is where I wish I had a Darkinium Z, because I was scared that the leftovers Necrozma would live a +2 Dark Pulse, so I'd rather just knock it out in Cold Blood. So in comes the Groudon, like I said, and I could just go for a Dark Pulse, and Groudon could potentially just knock me out with the Blades over here if it does have it, or Earthquake, but she goes for a Rock Polish, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, then I'll take that. I'm still faster than you because you're Sticky Webbed up, and actually, if she was running a lot of speed on the Groudon, she could be able to outspeed me. The Darkrai is so dang fast. You'd have to be running a lot of speed to outspeed me with +1. And usually Groudon Primals with Rock Polish run a lot of HP. They don't like to run a lot of speed, in my experience, and a lot of attack, or maybe just a lot of special attack. Just, in my experience, not a lot of speed, but they could. So you never really know, but, I mean, in my position, I could just Dark Pulse, even if she knocks me out. It could be a little scary since my Pokemon are pretty weak to Groudon, but we'll see about that, since I do have Mega Metagross, Arceus-Fire, and I also have Shaymin, so they could potentially have gotten swept by the Groudon, but luckily that didn't happen. So, GG to Hikari. Now, up next, we have well, let's show the Smashers now. So Smasher has a scary team with Genesect and Mega Samus. Mega Samus is a problem for this team. This team is actually not meant to play against these type of Pokemon, by the way. Like, it's not meant to play against Xerneas' Salamence. Like I said, it's a UBERS BL team. But, I don't know, I just thought it was fun. And I thought it would be a challenge to play against these type of Pokemon. Like, it's really not meant to play against these type of Pokemon. like the sets and stuff like that. They're meant for UBERS BL, which is a totally different like meta for UBERS. Just a lot of, you know, non-Uber Pokemon, I would say, just not really used. But yeah, I guess, I don't know, it's not on Pokemon Showdown. It's on, I mean it is, but it's on a different server, I'm pretty sure. I forget where it was though. I don't even know if people still play it a while back. But yeah, anyways, leads off with Genesect, goes for the U-turn. I'm thinking it's probably just Choice Scarf, maybe Choice Specs, who knows. But you know what Shuckle does, gets its webs up. As the Yveltal comes in, I'm like, alright, is this going to be Defog? Well, it just throws off a knockoff, so no mental hurt for me. That does a decent amount too, so that is Life Orb. I tried to get a Toxic off, but unfortunately I do miss the Toxic on that Yveltal. That would have been nice residual damage on the Yveltal, but oh well. Unfortunate. So, goes for another Oblivion, or just the first Oblivion Wing, I guess. The first thing he went for was a knockoff. And now I get my Rock Slip. Hopefully it's not Defog. And I'm trying to maybe hopefully go for a Toxic. Goes for the Dark Pulse, so knocks out my Shuckle. No more rocks and webs from me if the Defog does happen. I don't think it's going to be Life Orb Defog, so... Anyways, I go to Arceus-Fire over here. I'm just going to throw off a Calm Mind, because maybe he won't see that coming. Maybe he just thinks, okay, Arceus-Fire, maybe he just, you know, going to be a support. I don't know. Maybe Swords Dance. But I am going to be Calm Mind, and I have Ice Beam for the Salamence, so that could be nice. Even though I don't have really much to hit Primal Groudon pretty hard, I'm still willing to just Calm Mind up, even though I might just switch out on the Primal Groudon. I don't know, this team just kind of gets bopped by Primal Groudon. My only real answer to it is like my own Groudon, and if the Primal Groudon and Swords Dance is up and I'm slower, ooh, that could be a problem. So yeah, it has Sucker Punch, which is unfortunate. I did not see that coming. I probably should have with Life Orb, and he had Knockoff as well. So that Yveltal did a lot of damage to my team. Nice work. Brings in Marshadow. I predicted to go for a Shadow Sneak. I wanted to go into Groudon over here because I know I could take it. And I can bring the Drought up so that maybe I can potentially go to Shaymin or something. But goes for the Bulk up over here. I'm like, oh no, this is bad. I thought you'd go for the Shadow Sneak. Why didn't you go for the Shadow Sneak? I could have Judgmented you and knocked you out. Well, that sucks. I was just really scared of Life Orb Shadow Sneak to knock my Arceus-Fire out. So now I'm just like, alright, well, gonna sack my Arceus-Fire. And yeah, we're probably gonna have to speed this up. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know, in post-editing. Since, you know, it's copyright claimed by Nintendo or Game Freak. But we'll see. Usually I don't have to if I speed it up just a little bit, which I am. So hopefully we don't have to copyright claim it, because then I gotta edit this whole video and it takes a long time to do. Because usually I don't edit it, but yeah. Luckily, I switched in my Arceus-Fire as a sack to the Z move, because I don't have to lose my Groudon to the Z move at all. That would probably just one-shot my Groudon since I'm not running a bulky one. So now I bring in Shaymin over here. Shaymin easily faster since, you know, I got the webs up, and I could just go for a Air Slash and hopefully knock out the Marshadow. It is a roll, though, to, I think, knock it out since I am running Yache Bear. I'm not Life Orb. So goes for the Shadow Sneak, does a ton, and unfortunately, the Marshadow lives that Air Slash. So I'm like, well, I kind of want to keep my Shaymin because I can kind of just beat everything with Air Slash and Flinch and Serene Grace. So I decided to go into Darkrai, predicting another Shadow Sneak, and he does do that. And Darkrai should be able to take 2 Shadow Sneaks. So he goes for another Shadow Sneak, does a decent amount after 2 hits. But I can knock him out with a Dark Pulse. Like, man, that critical hit too, right there, puts me in really low HP. So down goes the Marshadow, and up next, maybe I can throw off a Darkinium Z, but in comes the Xerneas. So Xerneas can throw off a Geomancy over here and potentially just bop my team. But hopefully maybe I can go for a Sludge Bomb and do decent damage and go for a Poison as he goes for a Geomancy. And hopefully he doesn't go for a Moon Blast and knocks me out, because maybe I want to keep my Groudon in, my Darkrai in the back and maybe sack something else. So I go for the Sludge Bomb. He goes for the Focus, miss, and actually hits, so that's pretty interesting. I didn't expect that. I thought he'd just go for the Geomancy. So I don't know why he did that. Maybe he's like Specs or Scarf Xerneas, potentially, and just wanted to throw off a Focus Blast. Predict me to maybe switch out into like Metagross or something like that. Maybe. But now I can bring in my Metagross and just go for the Meteor Mash. I don't want a Mega because I think he has an Intimidator Mon or something like that in the back. But unfortunately, I missed my Meteor Mash and he hits me with a nice Focus Blast, and that does so much damage. That might be Specs looking at that damage. So hoping that I hit the next Meteor Mash, I do, and down goes the Xerneas, because I wanted to keep, I think, the clear body for my Metagross. Oh yeah, he had Salamence in the back, I remember now. And I didn't want to get intimidated because that could be bad. So in comes the Groudon over here. Now, I would not have stayed in on this Groudon, but Now I might want to just stay in and just go for an Earthquake and Mega Evolve, because my Metagross being weakened kind of just goes down to an Earthquake from Mega Salmons. I wanted to keep Metagross healthy enough, like max HP, because I can take a +1 Adamant Mega Salmons from full, an Earthquake at least, and I can knock it out with an Ice Punch. That was the plan at least. So maybe I should just went for the Earthquake on the Xerneas, but I don't know, I just really wanted to maybe get a boost with Meteor Mash, and I just didn't think I would miss, to be honest, but hey, that 90% actually is a dang lie, I always tell you. So now I'm just going to Mega Evolve, like I said, and just go for Earthquake and weaken the Primal Groudon a little bit. Hopefully he's not dual dance and just like Rock Polishes up in my face, and then that would be really bad for my team, because you know my team is very, very weak to Primal Groudon. So he does exactly do that what I was fearing, Rock Polish up. So he's +1 speed. Hopefully he is not going to be max speed, because then he'd outspeed like everything on my team. He does outspeed my Mega Metagross with +1 speed, so that's not looking good to me. I was hoping and praying, like, okay, please let me knock this out. Hopefully you're running no speed, but unfortunately that is not the case, because maybe Mega Salmons is Adamant and I can get a nice Ice Punch off, because if it is Adamant, I can be faster than it with my Mega Metagross. So now I bring in Groudon over here. Groudon pretty much, like, I don't know, looking at it, Mega Salmons kind of just wins. Like, Groudon can't do anything to Mega Salmons. Shaymin maybe can do something to Salmons by flinching it, but as long as he gets one Dragon Dance up, it's over, because Salmons is not affected by the Sticky Webs. It's going to be able to outspeed everything with +1 speed. So over here I'm just kind of banking on me, like maybe getting as much Swords Dances up as possible, and then maybe I can do something with Fire Punch. And also I do want to Rock Polish up as well, because I need to be faster than his Salmons in the back. So unfortunately hits that Blaze right there. I think he missed the first one, so now I'm like, alright, I guess I have no choice, because if I don't attack this Groudon, then maybe maybe that would have been the better play, like just Swords Dance up again and just Swords Dance up again, because maybe that could knock out Salmons from that after Stealth Rock, 75% HP. I could easily knock out Genesect. I know it's not Extreme Speed as well, because it's not Shiny. Only Genesect Shiny can have Extreme Speed, so I should be able to just outspeed it and knock it out, hopefully, since I am Rock Polished up, and he gets Sticky Webbed as well. So knock Genesect out with the Fire Punch. So maybe that was the play, is to just weaken the Groudon, sack it, and then go into Shaymin, just like Air Slash, Air Slash, Air Slash, and then hope for flinches. That, looking back at it, that's probably what I should have done, is hope for that. Because Serene Grace, when there is a Serene Grace Air Slash, there's a way, that's for sure. You know, Togekiss in the UU tier, or any tier really. A Serene Grace, like Jirachi, Arnett, you know. So I was just like, alright, let's go for the Fire Punch. Hiya! Did absolutely zero. Maybe I was hoping for a burn, but sometimes Mega Salmons has Facade as well. So he's just going to Roost up, and he's going to be able to just Dragon Dance up and knock out my Groudon, and then knock out my Shaymin as well. I tried to go for another Swords Dance, but it's just not going to do well. This is why I kind of wish I had Stone Edge. This is why I always like to run Stone Edge on my Groudon as well. But like I said, this team wasn't made for regular UBERS teams. Like, it wasn't made for Salmons. Like, Salmons, I think, and Xerneas and Primal Groudon and Yveltal, I think, were all banned from UBERS BL, since UBERS BL is a lower tier than UBERS. So yeah, just Dragon Dance is up, like I said. I think the Salmons was Roost, Dragon Dance, I think Double Edge or Return, and an Earthquake, because he shows off Earthquake over here, and that should be able to knock me out, even though I'm not super affected by it. Is going to be able to knock me out, and then Shaymin's going to be able to get outsped. So maybe I wish I was a Choice Scarf Shaymin right here, because then maybe I could outspeed a +1 Salmons, but I think he Dragon Danced up like twice, so yeah, he turns out to be Double Edge, which is nice damage with Salmons, and I think he was Adamant as well, judging, I don't know, just on regular Salmons. You know, that's what just people run, is Adamant Salmons. I mean, there's no indication that he was running Adamant, but I would guess he was running Adamant. So last game we got is versus Christian. He has a very scary team. Potential Mega Blaziken. I mean, no other Mega, unless he brought Mega Rayquaza, but I mean, that's banned from UBERS. And then Primal Groudon, Arceus, Marshadow, and then Giratina. I think Giratina is going to be Defog. Arceus maybe just like the rest of his team, probably just offensive. Maybe Groudon rocks, and everything else is offensive. So we'll see what he got. Maybe the Rayquaza's a Life Orb. I see a lot of like Surf Rayquazas running around just trying to catch these Primal Groudons off guard. But I'm always switching those guys out. I'm like, nope, I know what you're going to do. You're going to try and surf me if they lead off with Rayquaza. But at the same time, Rayquaza's kind of dangerous, because it could have Focus Sash as a lead with Swords Dance, and maybe even just Falanium Z. So yeah, Rayquaza's always a menace in the Uber tier. You don't see it too much though. Also learns V-Creeds. But anyways, leads off a Giratina, unfortunately misses a Dragon Tail, which would have been nice. That's kind of perfect for me, because now I can get at least one Hazards up as he tries to go for a Dragon Tail again. I know he's going for Dragon Tail as well, because, you know, he's slower than me, and Shuckle's damn near the slowest Pokemon, so there's no way Giratina is going to be outsped by Shuckle, unless you're going for a negative priority move. So nice Toxic on the Giratina. Couldn't ask for any kind of better turns over here, because he Dragon Tails me into Darkrai, and I'm like, what? Okay, then I'll take it. I get a free Nasty Plot off of you, because I don't think he's going to stay in and try and go for a Dark Pulse or Dragon Tail me, because I know he does not want to take a Dark Pulse to the face, because he can get potential flinched. He doesn't want to lose his Defogger. I still have Shuckle pretty healthy, so yeah, free Nasty Plot as he goes into Arceus Water, maybe predicting Dark Pulse, but since I Nasty Plotted up, now I can just one-hit KO this Arceus Water, blow it back right into its Pokeball, and yeah, that's pretty awesome for me. Like, if that's a Defogger as well, maybe, potentially, since whenever I see Arceus Water, I think it's going to be Defog as well, so maybe the Giratina wasn't Defog. Since it did have Dragon Tail, I don't see Dragon Tail too much. Usually Giratinas are Defog, though. One of the best Defoggers, I would say. Max defense and modest max special attack, I see a lot. With like Draco Meteor, maybe Whisper Toxic, maybe Hex, maybe T-Wave as well. Could run a lot. But yeah, in comes the Groudon over here as I just blow back the Arceus Water. Can just go for a nice Dark Pulse and just weaken the Groudon as much as possible, because then that could be really good for the rest of my team, like Shaymin-Sky, Air Slash, maybe my Arceus-Fire, go for an Ice Beam, stuff like that. So yeah, perfect turns for me, honestly. The first few turns of this game. Couldn't ask for anything better, bringing Darkrai in early on. So he just goes for the Fire Punch. Luckily, I do live that at 9 HP. Wow, that is crazy. Living a Fire Punch stab from Primal Groudon in the sun. I didn't expect Darkrai to live that, but hey, I'll take it. Maybe it's a roll. Maybe he's just running no attack as well. Potentially, yeah, because that Dark Pulse did a decent amount. 2-hit KO the Primal Groudon. Maybe he's running defense or Spadef. Because I think it would do a little bit more if he wasn't running Spadef. So, anyways, in comes Giratina. I was like, does this have Shadow Sneak? I guess it does. So yeah, it's probably not a Defog then, I would guess. I think maybe his Arceus was a Defogger, because he has Dragon Tail, Shadow Sneak. His last two moves gotta be like a status move and something else, like Hex or Draco Meteor. So I'm like, alright, let's go into Mega Metagross over here and just go for an Ice Punch, because I know it doesn't knock it out. I mean, the rest of my Pokemon don't really have much to knock it out, except for like Shaymin with Air Slash and Flinch. But that's gonna take a little bit, and he might just break through and potentially have Defog. So I was like, alright, let's just threaten it out, maybe with Ice Punch, or just maybe potentially knock it out with an Ice Punch. But I don't think it will get knocked out, since it's a Giratina. So he does have the Wisp right there. Unfortunately, halves my attack, so now Mega Metagross is pretty much like useless. It doesn't really do much. But luckily Giratina is useless as well, but I can get a little bit of chip over here with the Shadow Sneak. But now I get to keep my Sticky Webs up, which is pretty dang awesome for me. Lowering the speed of Marshadow and Blaziken is huge. The unfortunate thing over here is that Metagross is burnt as I knock out Giratina, and he can switch into something called Blaziken and capitalize on this, maybe go for his Swords Dance. That's what I would do, at least, because, I mean, I'm not fearing a Zen Headbutt. Maybe he is, because Zen Headbutt would maybe knock out Blaziken. Since Blaziken isn't the bulkiest Mega Metagross with Tough Claws, man, that's a strong hitting move, even if I'm burnt. He could be scared of that. But I was kind of hoping that he just goes for like a Flare Blitz or a Protect, or maybe even High Jump Kick as I go into Shuckle over here, and then I can just Encore him. And praying that he doesn't go for a Swords Dance. As he does not. He just goes for the Protect. So that's really, really awesome for me. If he went for the Swords Dancer there, I probably would have just lost, because that would literally just KO everything. I would try and Encore him, but he'd be Encored in like Flare Blitz, and that would probably knock out everything except for Arceus-Fire, so he'd have to choose, I guess, between High Jump Kick and Flare Blitz, one of those two. So maybe I wouldn't sweep my entire team, actually, because I do have Shaymin, and that resists High Jump Kick, and Arceus-Fire resists Fire, so I'd switch accordingly on whatever he goes for, and I can try and Encore him as he Swords Danced up. But I don't know if I can Encore him, because then I might get knocked out by +2 Flare Blitz, so I probably would have still got swept, no matter what I say. So yeah, anyways, I go for a substitute over here, Shaymin-Sky. I was kind of hoping that he won't be Life Orb and go for a Spectral Thief, because Spectral Thief does break through, or at least not break through, but bypass Substitute. But he turns out to be Substitute as well, so oh, okay, then that's interesting. Hopefully he doesn't, like, I don't know if the Z move of Marshadow breaks through Sub, though. I think it might, but I feel like it doesn't. But yeah, he just goes for a Bulk Up, which is interesting. I mean, I'll just knock this thing out. I wanted to go for Sub because I was hoping to see that he's like Life Orb, maybe. I can't live if he wasn't Life Orb, like 100%. I think it's a 50% chance to knock me out if he was Life Orb, and I go for a sub because I'm at 75% HP, and Spectral Thief does a decent amount. So anyways, if he wasn't Life Orb, which I'm thinking he wasn't, he might have just been Z-move Marshadow since he did have Bulk Up and Sub, so maybe his last moves are Close Combat and Spectral Thief, which kind of is weird. I'd rather have Shadow Sneak than Substitute, but hey, to each their own. But yeah, I like to run Substitute Marshadow when I run Swagger at least, because Swagger seems cool with Substitute. Force switches, and then you go for the Spectral Thief and try and steal that +2. So Shaymin is going in over here, Blaziken goes down. In comes Rayquaza, goes for the Extreme Speed, breaks my sub, and should be able to live Extreme Speed, hopefully. And then I can 2-hit KO the Rayquaza with a Air Slash. 2 Air Slashes at least. As he turns out to be Life Orb, I do get a nice crit right there, which I don't think mattered since I'm pretty sure I could just 2-shot Rayquaza. As he doesn't decide to go for another Extreme Speed, and I can knock him out with the last Air Slash, and that's a GG to Christian. Even though he got a little bit lucky. I mean, I got a little bit lucky with that Dragon Tail and that Dragon Tail miss first turns of the game. Like, that was just insane. But hey, he could have maybe capitalized on that Metagross with that Blaziken. I would have definitely done that with the Swords Dance, because he did show Swords Dance on his Blaziken as I just encored him with the Shuckle. So I'm not too sure what he was expecting. Maybe he was expecting Zenham, but like I said, and he doesn't want to take that damage. This team, though, really needs priority, but like I said, it's an UBERS BL team, so don't use it in UBERS unless you just want to have fun with it, and don't expect a lot of wins with it, because it's not really the best team. But it's fun. You don't really see these Pokemon a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. And I guess the comment question of the day is, I don't know, what is your favorite Arceus form, I guess? Arceus-Fire you don't see too much. Like I said, my favorite Arceus form is Ground, so leave it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.